Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
I can hear you.
might not be talking throughout the event.
You said what?
I might not be talking throughout the event.
Yeah, you can just message me directly so that we can have a
Okay.
two-way just in
Okay.
case.
I don't know why it's taking
Okay.
a longer time for me to come in. I admitted him.
It's open, right?
It's showing something in Chinese.
Pardon?
It's showing that it's going to join.
Okay. All right.
Okay, is it? Okay. Elijah.
Follow them, do it, cha-cha-cha, baby, oh. My family's winning, it sweets me inside, but yo, now money be everything, cause everything now money, oh. Till I don't back out, I don't back up, I don't, till I don't back out. I don't back up, I don't back, till I don't back out. I don't back up, 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 I don't back up.
Taking my time, they not in my lane. They going this side, that way. So open your eyes and follow my lead. I do it one time, my way. That's why you call me when you know you need a way. Everyone knows that they ain't got nothing to say. Step into the light, I know you wanna stay. We living every night and rolling every day. I wait, yeah. Body they throw me like a bono. Body they rising like no. I say color your brocodo, no good place locodo. Tell you they bossy my pololo. Tell me salute your comodo. Tell if you balance echo, I give you paper. No go do me Diego, my Maradona.
Girl, if I lap your sueto, mama for this girl, your back, keep it tornado. And I can follow your Cresco, Cresco. Tonight, I'm the Cresco. Pay for your waist, and I could pay for your lace, a day for your waist. Tonight, I'm the Cresco. Pay for your waist, I could pay for your lace,
Look into the bedroom. Be there when I pull up, pull up, pull up. No, I'm mess up. Be there when I pull up. Leave it there. But she wanna leave it there. She let me lick it up. You know what happened when I come to be low. So baby, what you still want a reason? I'm on the way, so I chill. We all know what you need, you. Tell me your love, don't waste my time. I want to get low, sweat, chill. I want to reach ecstasy. I want to have sex. I want to have sex. What's my stuff? I need you and nobody else. Ask God if you got my help. And you can know you can meet me out here. She wanna fall like yeah. I need you and nobody else. Ask God if you got my help. And you can know you can meet me out here.
girl, if you balance the echo, I give you paper. No go do me Diego, my Maradona. Girl, if I lap your sueto, mama for this girl, your back, keep it tornado. And I can follow your Cresco, Cresco.
Tell me where you there, oh no day, say look, oh any kilometer for your mess. Oh gotta shika, the betty get shika, say me so go shika. What is the use of my money? Smoking, not I gonna need it. She want it for me, God I am. You know me, I be with you. She say baby, I got me oh, your thing they touching my belly oh. J'aime l'amour fait vie, oh baby, comme ça les fournis. Alléluia, alléluia, assassin, alléluia.
Girl, if you balance.
Initiating rage process.
Look what the hot body can do. Focus. Look what the hot body can do. Body be dancing, slow wine, so my body so fine. Dry push, Panamera inside. 2 Panamera inside. Make sense, oh, make sense. Oh my God, I need resistance. Fragrance, when from my distance. Make sense, oh, make sense. Body be dancing. Controller. I get in both for my holder. I make your body slow when I slow down. Put it on the low, no go loud down. You know the things I wanna do tonight. Unusual. Put it down, make I take away your peace of mind. You go blow like water, we get the freeze up like Open your eyes and look. Look what the hot body can do. I say, look. Focus. Look what the hot body can do. Body be dancing, slow wine, so my body so fine. Dry push, Panamera inside. 2 Panamera inside. Make sense, oh, make sense. Oh my God, I need resistance. Fragrance, when from my distance. Make sense, oh, make sense. Body be look what the hot body can do.
need to give you. My darling, what is it that they told you? Telling me how they be fooling you like on the telling me how they be fooling you like on the my darling, my darling.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome, everyone, to our webinar. AI, is it helping your children? Is it harming them? How do we strike a balance with AI? Welcome, welcome, welcome. We'll be starting in about two minutes. Just want some people to come in. So, DJ, can you help us with the music for 2 more minutes?
It's getting cold, cold inside. Double sweater, I am young, ordinary, paranoid. I can picture this world without you, my life. Oh, baby.
Sweet Fanta Diallo, I know fit forget you. Hey Bezina, uzo, uzo, uzo. If I speak English, you oh, cho 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 no walking. I don't want punish you oh, I want to punish you. If you see my baby, you go shut up oh. I'ma get too fine, no be makeup oh. Yeah baby, lie down no. Finish work for me oh. Oh tomato, put that thing back oh. Ah baby.
Okay, welcome everyone. My name is Precious Omobo. I am the head of learning ELA. Anytime I say ELA, people wonder what is ELA? ELA for English and language here at Naijatutors. Once again, I greet everyone. Welcome to Naijatutors webinar on AI and your child's education, help, harm, or habit. Thank you all for taking your time to join us today. We're excited to have parents and our well-seasoned educators, our well-seasoned speakers. We have Ms. Fola Adekoye, Dr. Michael Okoli, and Mr. Raji, our own Naijatutors STEM tutor. Now, today's section is going to be interactive, so feel free to use the chat, and there'll be a poll throughout the session. We have lunch polls. We'll be asking you questions about your child's education and AI. We'll be having questions like, has your child ever asked for AI help with homework? And those kind of questions. So in the poll, you have yes and no answers, and so on. Now, I'll be inviting you guys to also feel free to drop whatever questions you have in the chat other than the lunch polls. So we'll be meeting our speakers. Like I mentioned, that we'll be having Ms. Fola Adekoye, Dr. Michael Okoli, and Mr. Raji Ibrahim. Now, if you want more information about our speakers for today, I'll be dropping our website where you can go and read about the speakers for today. So I will be dropping the website now, unless you can go there and read about them. So moving on to the next item, like I said, my name is Precious Omobo, and I will be your host for today. Now, we're also delighted to have such experienced professionals with us, and they'll be sharing a lot of insight with us today as well. Now, parents, please type in the chat answers to the poll. I'm sorry about that. All right, so I'll be typing a question in the poll now. And the question is, one thing you hope to learn for today's seminar. You can decide to write as many, many points as you can. Okay, fine, the poll is there. I'm going to put it in the chat, sorry. My question in the chat, but the poll is up. You can also answer the question in the poll. Now, this is my own question in the chat. What you hope to gain from today's seminar. I would be coming. Let me just put it there. Yes, what you hope to gain from today's seminar. It is there in the chat. Please feel free to answer. And also there's a poll out, the poll, AI and your child's education. Question, what is one thing you hope to learn? Okay, it's the same thing. You can decide to write in the chat. You can decide to answer the poll. And we move on to the next item on the menu. Straight up, we're going straight to our roundtable discussion. We're going to discuss AI and your child's education, help, harm, or habit. First of all, like I said, I have already introduced our speakers for today. We have Mr. Raji Ibrahim, we have Ms. Fola Adekoye, and Mr. Dr. Michael Okoli. Now, like I said, Mr. Raji is a STEM tutor here at Naijatutors.
Yes, I'm with you.
Welcome, Mr. Raji. And also, Ms. Fola Adekoye, she's a cybersecurity expert. Hello, madam, are you here with us? Hello, madam, are you here with us, Ms. Fola? Okay, move on. And then we have Dr. Michael Adekoye. He's an AI and IT expert. Now, Mr. Raji, let's start with you. As a STEM tutor, what is your concern when you see the use of AI around you? Should parents and educators be bothered?
Thank you very much, Ms. Pressy. As a STEM tutor, I see AI as both an opportunity as well as a responsibility, because technology itself is part of us, and on its own, it's not a problem. But the real issue is how we apply it, how we make use of it. So if AI is seen as replacing the thought process, the thinking of our children, then we should know it is harming learning. But if it's supporting problem solving, it's supporting the ability to be more curious, then it can actually deepen understanding.
Thank you very much. Well, let me ask another question. Let's say, for example, you give a math or a science question to your student, and the student comes up with something extraordinary, answers the question correctly beyond your imagination. What would you conclude about the child?
Well, I will not reach to any conclusion immediately, because reaching a conclusion without making necessary inquiry can actually lead to an harmful decision. So the next thing I would do is to take some steps to know if my child is actually, working with AI, as in allowing AI to do the thinking, or it is AI assisted in terms of just the curiosity aspect of it. So when you see that the child is answering a question and the question is looking so beyond the child's level, you need to find other means to find out if the child is actually the one that did the answering of the question, because you never can tell. It might actually be an area that the child is so well versed on, and you may not be aware, or some knowledge were gained, within a very short while. So you need to find out before you now reach a conclusion to know if it is AI that really did the thinking, or the child actually did the good job.
Thank you very much. That's a fantastic answer. So my co-host is here, Mr. Adekunle Olukotun.
Thank you. Thank you.
He is the head of learning STEM here at Naijatutors. Welcome, Mr. Kule.
Thank you so much. It's nice having everyone in this great event tonight.
Okay, so we are at the discussion. Discussion is on, and I'd like to direct the question straight to Ms. Fola. You're welcome, madam. Are you here with us? I can see you. Welcome, madam.
Yes, I am. Hi, everyone. It's good to be here.
So Ms. Fola is our cyber security expert, and I would like to ask you a question. Let's say my child talks to AI like a friend. Should I be worried?
Okay, so short answer, not panicked, but definitely paying attention. And why I say this is 2026. So this is a very common question a lot of parents are beginning to raise right now. And the truth is, when we look at twins, so twins are like pre-teenagers, very close to being 13, and teenagers who are 13 and above. The way they are wired naturally is they love to seek connection. So when an AI responds to their questions warmly, friendly, AI is able to remember context within their conversation. AI never forgets. AI doesn't judge them, right? So it can feel like friendship. So for a lot of kids, there's that affinity with AI, and it's by design. So for these AI platforms, they've been designed that way. It's not by accident. So the real concern is not really the emotional bond, but what the bond unlocks. As humans, once you feel safe with someone, you want to open more. You feel so comfortable with the person, they're no longer secrets. So a child who would not post their home address on Instagram or TikTok because they are self-aware and know not to share personal information, but because they've now developed an affinity with AI. So for them, they can just go into AI as a friend. So some of them will treat AI as like a diary. So they can put, as an example, I'm home alone after 5 p.m. and I live close to this place. For them, it's not sharing, it's more just chatting with their friend. And if you look at research, right, according to a lot of research, 1995, 2000, 2006, for kids, what do they use, the internet for? They just go online and then maybe search Toronto weather. But now, from 2025 onwards, kids are now, having conversations with AI. They can put something like, I'm really stressed because my best friend is not talking to me, or because my parents are fighting and I don't know, what to do. Can you help me? So if we look at just that alone, there's an enormous shift from what, kids used to use technology for and what they are using it now. A good example, yesterday my son came home and asked to use my phone. I gave him my phone, and then later he came to meet me. Mommy, do you have my picture saved on your phone? I'm like, yes. I did. It didn't occur to me to ask him what he wanted to use it for, but my husband did. And he said he wants to do an attractiveness test. And I'm like, okay, what does that mean? And then I realized that ChatGPT has a PT for attractiveness test. So you need to upload your picture and then it will score you based on your features, how attractive you are. So apparently that's like a trend with kids nowadays. So it will analyze your features, it will predict age and some other information. So I guess, that question has been answered in terms of whether you need to be worried or not.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So I also want to welcome Dr. Michael Okoye. It's nice to have you here, Mr. Thank you very much, sir. All right, down to you, Mr. Kunle.
All right. Thank you so much, Ms. Precious, and thank you for standing in and doing a wonderful job. I would like to ask Dr. Okoye, are we raising critical thinkers or just kids who know the right prompt? Do we have kids who are self-aware to be critical thinkers, or just kids who know the right prompts to put on AI and get the results they want? Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Dekole. Good afternoon, everyone.
Sir.
Yeah, part of my joining late, I've just been in meetings back to back. And I think I'd mentioned to Banker, thanks for having me. I appreciate the gesture and the opportunity to be able to share transfer knowledge using this platform. So I think the first thing, when I get a lot of these questions sometimes, I think first is understanding first what AI is. Here, can I ask a general question here? Maybe no, but who has used Google? Who has used a search engine? We all probably
have done it.
We've done it. So when we started talking about AI, this was like years ago. It's not a new technology. It's just been pushed back. It's been there, looking around, waiting for the time to come. And I think the time is now where there's a lot of awareness and a lot of demand. So what is this technology? It's the same technology that you and I use, but it's more data driven. It's a huge, so when we talk about big data, this is where we key in, that's where AI comes in. It's just data. What you give to it is what it gives back to you. So it's good to have that understanding first before having conversations, deeper conversations like this. Having said that, are we raising critical thinkers? In my opinion, and in some of the articles and AI training that I've been conducting, I said, yes, we are raising critical thinkers. However, we're also raising a generation that would be mostly over-reliant on this technology, mostly over-reliance. And I would say why we're raising critical thinkers and why we're raising generation that will be relying more on AI. Now, while we're raising critical thinkers, an average person today would program any software. Okay, and remember I said that AI is the same technology as what we have, but these days we have automation as a result of big data. that helps now to drive more. So it's more prompt based. It's more real time, and you can get any information you want at any time. So are we raising critical thinkers, those who are able to use the technology, those who are able to develop it, those who are able to use the technology itself for the benefit of themselves, for the people around them? I would say yes. I've heard stories of parents, even why they have concerns, their children had helped them navigate difficult business situation. And I'll use a simple example. In one of my sessions, a woman said to me, I was trying to do a slide that had very critical timeline to deliver. And as I was preparing this slide, I was struggling. My daughter could see me from the other side of the room that I was struggling, trying to put the content of this slide together. And the daughter went, Mom, why don't you use AI? And she went, I thought AI was just a virtual assistant. They said, no, AI could help you do that slide as well, right? And she went on ChatGPT and, generated an AI slide. Then her slide was ready. She was struggling with it. Slide was ready. Now the next thing she needed to do was now to decide whether she wants to modify it or not. Again, this is what we recommend. Whatever you get from the system, ensure to tweak it to fit into whatever purpose you want it. So generally, to summarize that question, I would say we're raising critical thinkers, programmers. I don't know how many of the new AI positions that you've seen today. New positions are going to come up, and to take people who know how to use this tool, who know how to navigate it. I mean, we know there's some concerns on the data privacy side, the overdependence on the system. Those are things that, as parents, as technology experts, we need to be aware of. It's the awareness, is knowing where to draw the line between when to use, how to use, and where to use. You get the point. But we cannot. Technology is the future, whether we like it or not. I say this in my session. I have the opportunity to share technology experiences. We can push it back. We can push it back. So the more we continue to engage in conversations like this, where parents and business owners, decision makers begin to have an understanding. As I said, just relate whatever you see today in tech, AI specifically, relate it to what used to be. But now we have more data being fed into this system to make them more autonomous, okay? And that's why we have things like virtual reality, augmented reality, because that data are readily available. You see deepfake, the next minute you get out of this place now, someone's going to take your picture and do something that makes it look like it's you, right? We see all kinds of things. These days, people don't even go to Photoshop anymore, studio to take Photoshop. AI can do that and save you money. So there's the benefit and there's the downside. So are we raising, on the other side now, we're going to have dependencies on AI for sure, just to cap it up. It's going to be so much that everything will be done by AI. Robotics will be on the street. You are going to see robots working side by side. It's already in places like China, where if you go to manufacturing companies, the beauty part of it is that we would have new positions, new roles will be open as a result. These days, we don't hire business analysts anymore because AI system is going to generate requirements specifically for the system you want to. So you would be forced to maybe tweak. And there are new roles. I will share some of those new roles, as we go into this conversation. But to sum it up, we're raising really a good generation, if well managed, if well controlled, ethically, in a safe manner. We're raising critical thinkers, people who would help you and I to solve our problem. And I'm talking about kids, children from even elementary schools, who would help and do things that you and I at our level, are going to do. So I'll leave it here. Okay. Pass it back to you, Mr. Adekunle. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, sir. Just before I let you take a break, you talked about AI has come to stay, and in the nearest future, we'll be looking at reliance on it increase further. So I want to ask, as a parent, what skills should I focus on for my kids who wants to write essays with AI, who wants to solve equations? So what should I focus on as parents at home to ensure that the kids have the requisite skill to really apply AI into their education, specifically that to write essays, also to solve mathematical equations? What should we be looking forward to as parents?
That's another interesting question. Thanks, Mr. Dekule. So I was talking to my kids the other day, and I mentioned something like almighty formula. And they looked at me and they're like, okay, I know some of us in our time remember that almighty formula.
Yeah.
Say plus AB, blah, blah, blah. And they say
that's
there's nothing almighty about that thing. But back in those days, it was really almighty. AI will solve input what X is, what Y is. AI will give you the answer. AB is 5, A is 5, B is 6. Input it into that whatever called almighty formula. It will generate the answer. So why do we need to, again, this is where that conversation comes in, right? Why do we need to spend time doing monotonous activities? So in terms of skills, it's purely just communicating with your kids. And that's why those who have strong communication skills are the ones, and that's why I'm glad for some of us whose kids have the opportunity to be really out there doing stuff. Those are the ones that would have great opportunities in future. Communication skills, presentation skills, even having an understanding of how AI works will go a long way in helping you as well, you and your kids. You want to have and not high level. Nobody's going to expect any parent who is not interested in tech to begin to program AI software. No. Okay. But there are basic standard, that a new position we call now AI auditors. You know that, right? We have AI auditors. Those who look at AI systems and identify deficiencies, right? We have AI companion designers, new positions that are coming up, AI relationship mediators. Can you tell me what technical skills you need for this? You don't need no technical skills to be a mediator, do you? No. Empathy, human relations. These are the new skills that will spring up. We will no longer code. The coding that we do back in those days, AI does it now and just give us the source code. All we need to do is just to white label or to customize it, and we already develop our app. You will see things like ethic officer, AI ethic officer, those who are responsible for making sure that AI is ethically used in a safe and responsible way. Synthetic data trainer. This one is where the data science expertise comes in. Your skills will no longer be on mining those data. It will mostly be on training people who are going to know how to train data that AI systems use. So you will see that even for us as parents, the AI is going to help us to just focus our energy on helping in communicating in business area or in business or in our own industry. Presentations. As I told you, I just finished up on 2 presentations today, and I'm hopping on to this one. And I have another one at 5 o'clock, and it goes all the way 5. This is what we're doing in order to create that awareness so people are aware of what needs to be done. So if you have a good communication skills, you have a good relationship skills, those are potentially areas where, as a parent, you want to begin to focus on, to drive that relationship with your children, just so also they can understand, the nitty-gritties, the implications, the benefits of this system. And if you leave it to them, they will use it. They'll bring solutions to you. You wouldn't have to bother about making slides for your business or getting leads for your business. So I'll leave it here. I hope I answered that question in that.
All right. Thank you so much, sir, for sharing those wonderful insights with us. Don't forget, for our guests, also for those joining us, you can drop your conversations on the chat and we'll engage with them. Ms. Precious, over to you. I know I've taken a lot of time with Dr. Michael Okoli, but it's well worth it. Please, I hand over to you, Ms. Precious. Thank you.
Yeah, I agree with you. It was worth it because I learned a lot from him just now. So my question is now back to Ms. Fola, our cybersecurity expert. My question is this. Are kids, you mentioned it briefly before, but a question came to my mind. Now, what kind of personal information might kids be sharing without realizing, and can their identity be stolen?
Okay, the answer would actually surprise most of us today, because for most kids, when they make AI into friends, partners, confidants, etc., it means that they are sharing practical, there's no filter. They're able to talk to it, and before you know it, they're sharing confidential information. Kids know not to share passwords, of course, right? Nobody's going to go to AI and say, oh, my password to this is this. But as they are chatting with AI, being a friend, what they're doing is they're sharing a lot of useful personal identifiable information. So we call that PII. And then also all these questions, AI is going to use all that information to build a profile for them. Identity is built from layers of small details. For example, I'll look at an innocent sounding conversation. So you go to ChatGPT, you go to Claude or Perplexity, whichever one you use, and then you say, can you write a story about me? And then your name and then your school. What have you shared? You've shared your name, you've shared your school. Now, AI now knows that you attend this school. Automatically, it can check where that school is. And of course, your house will be somewhere close to that school. Location data. So you say, oh, I want to plan a surprise birthday party for my mom. Recommend a good restaurant around maybe Ancaster. AI now knows that, okay, you somewhat live around here. So it knows your name from the question. It knows your school name, your possibly location data, either where you live, and then also the location of your school. And then when you chat, other days, my parents are divorced, I spend weekends at my dad's at Burlington. AI now knows that, oh, this is the setup of your family, right? Or even health information, which we call PHI, personal health information. And you ask, oh, I have maybe ADHD, and my teacher says I need to focus more. What can I do? Right? So these are, seemingly innocent questions that kids would ask AI. And if you look at it, as parents at times, we're at work, we're busy, or maybe your kid might even come to you and you're not in a good mood and you're yelling. But AI is so friendly, so nice. So no information is really off limits. Even daily routines. I work from home, I close at school at 3, I get home at 3:15. I have so many activities. I have soccer practice on Saturday. I have this job is scheduled for me. So at the end of the day, you're sharing PII, PHI, even financial information, right? For example, you're saying, my parents cannot afford tutoring, but I want to learn this concept. Can you help me instead? You've given that tool some information about the financial status of your family. Or even photo uploads. I gave an example yesterday about the attractiveness test. So for a lot of kids, they would have already uploaded those pictures because that's actually something. What they are doing is they're comparing scores. Oh, I'm more attractive than you are. I know that for kids, they're big on trends. So when you upload images to maybe AI tools for editing, you want to create an avatar, what you're doing is you're sharing all this information. Individually, they seem harmless. But the thing with security is, in cybersecurity, we call this a digital footprint, right? Digital footprint is basically all these layers of information, your name, your address, your location, the name of your school, the picture, all of that. And the problem here is if the data is breached or misused, then the consequences are something else. So my advice to parents is you can ask, show me a conversation you've had with AI, or even if you don't want to go that route. For example, if you create an account, maybe they use your account. That way you can go in, see what they are sharing, and also you also tell them these tools are like your friends. But remember, security is so important. And the way security works is bad actors, cyber criminals are always looking for the weakest point to exploit. So say, for example, if there's a data breach and all this information is stolen by the wrong people, then They create a profile, they know so much about you, and before you know it, identity theft happens. So identity theft is where a cyber criminal takes your information like your date of birth, your name, your location, and then they steal your identity. Maybe they want to open a bank account, they want to take loans, and then they are using your identity. So, simple rule for kids. You want to tell them never share your full name. I mean, I totally agree. It's beneficial to use AI because it makes you more efficient. It makes you ready for the future of work. But then do not share your full name. Do not share your address, your school name, passwords, login details, photos, your daily routine. So,
Thank you
Precious,
very much. That was very
passing it back
insightful.
to you.
Yes, that was very insightful. I was a little bit scared when you were talking. I was asking myself, what have I shared with AI? Oh my God.
You can
Thank you
actually
very
find
much.
out what you shared with AI. Go and prompt AI and say, what do you know about me from all the information I've shared about you? Give me a detailed list of what you shared about me, and then you will actually see all that information.
Thanks for that. I'll definitely try that. All right, back to you, Mr. Kunle.
Yeah, thank you. I think I find this discussion very interesting. And while Coach Fola was speaking, I was just asking myself as well. I think I need to go and do AI audit of all the information I've shared with AI. I know I've done a lot. So I think AI basically knows my secret. Thank you so much, ma'am, for that awareness and that enlightenment. I would like to direct my next question to Mr. Raji Ibrahim. I would like to ask, as a tutor and who has engaged with a lot of students, I would like to know, have you had a case where students submit a perfect response to you, probably an exercise or an assignment, and you think it's AI? What are the signs that it's not their work? How do you detect that?
Thank you very much. And before I even go into my question, thank you, Dr. Okuli, and thank you, Ms. Fola. You've really shed lights. And even as I was sitting here, I had to type in and ask AI that write a story about me. And I was able to see that AI was able to pick at least 3 sectors of my life, and it got it correctly. So though it didn't get my name correct anyway. So it's a real eye opener. So back to my question.
Yeah.
Regarding experiencing students, turning in answers that are obvious, that is actually obvious, that it's not, yes, definitely. At least I've had a couple of experiences. One was in class, giving question. I've explained you're supposed to be having a practice session just to, measure the level of understanding of the students. And another one was having an assessment, but the assessment was not an in-class assessment. So the one with the the assessment that wasn't in-class assessment, and out of class assessment was, administered, not to my knowledge. I administered an assessment when I met the student first. So after scoring my assessment, I was now told that the student have taken an assessment earlier. When I saw the assessment sheet, I was like, no, I'm sorry. This is not the student I knew. As a tutor, you should be able to measure the capability of your student.
Okay.
If you stayed with a student for a while, even a class or two should give you an average range of understanding of how your tutee is expected to respond to questions. So most of the time, if you give a question and you see that the answer is looking too perfect, or the pattern with which the student answer questions, and you see that the pattern is changing, it's looking too smooth, let me put it that way.
Okay.
You need to devise methods to prompt or to find out if this student is actually doing the assignment the way just him or herself alone, or something else is happening. So that is where you now need to start working on the thinking process. You can ask, how did you give me an explanation of how you arrived at this answer? There has been a time I gave one, students can be funny, trying to play around, and okay, fine. Give a question that you feel is a bit above the student level of understanding. So when you throw the question, you may not even say anything. The student will think that everything is still fine. But a student that is using AI to respond will just fall into the trap, respond. Imagine a student that is in year 7, that you know that is an average student, and you are giving a year 10 question and the student is getting it flawlessly. Then you know that definitely something is wrong.
Okay.
So all these are areas or methods that you can use to identify if a student is actually, using AI to respond. But one thing is, don't jump to conclusion immediately. You need to find out to avoid giving the wrong, making the wrong judgment.
Okay. So I would like to hear your take as an educator. As a STEM tutor, what are the concerns you see about the use of AI? Should parents and educators be bothered? I'd like to hear you sharply on that because, just as you said, and from the speakers we have here, there are concerns. So for you as a tutor and educator with years of experience, should parents be bothered? Should educators as well be bothered with the use of AI?
Well, I won't say they should be bothered.
Okay.
Like, it should not bring something that brings about agitation, but there is a need for the awareness to be created, because AI has come to stay. We can't take it away. So if we are saying that we are trying to shield our, children away from it, it will not work. It won't work. It's just like we are shielding them away from a development that has come to stay. But as, parents, as tutors, we need to also be as, even if we are not as smart as them, some students are very, very smart, but we need to be ahead of them in their game.
Okay.
We need to, they need to understand that what AI is meant for. It is meant to assist them in actualizing their goal, not doing it for them. That's there's a question I was intending to ask Dr. Okoli when he said AI will, breed critical thinkers.
Yeah.
He also said something that it will also breed students that will be high technology reliant. So in my head, I was not like, how do we manage or how do we balance the two? Because if we are talking about having critical thinkers and high technologically reliant students, I don't know how that can be merged.
Can be merged,
Can be merged, because to me they look totally opposite. So, but we as tutors, we need to be aware, we need to be conscious. Anytime we are taking our students, anytime we are taking our tutees, we need to monitor the rate at which they are answering their questions, the level at which they are dishing out the answers, and the fluency of, the questions you are giving to them. And anytime we detect that it's like something else is happening, then you need to start your fact-finding mission, to be able to discover if truly it is AI, and if it is, then you need to take the necessary steps.
All right. Thank you so much for that insight. I think I will hand over to Ms. Fee, and Mr. Raji Ibrahim has actually laid a foundation question for you to ask Dr. Okoli. So please, Ms. Precious, can you take it up from here? Thank you.
Exactimo. Mr. Kule, are you a mind reader? Exactly what was in my mind. So the question that is going to be directed to Dr. Okoli, because while Mr. Raji was talking, my head was like, my brain was going to, okay. So this question is for you, Dr. Michael Okoli. Is banning the use of AI realistic for children? And how can parents manage this effectively? Because for me personally, I feel children shouldn't have anything to do with AI. I feel it kills their creativity. So, but this banning it, realistic? And how can parents help?
Okay, thanks so much for that question. So, Mr. Raji, before you go on, so something kind of struck my attention when you were doing your search with the AI tool, and you didn't spell your name correctly. So we call it AI bias. So we at Nectar Services Inc. are developing an application AI tool that is Afrocentric. So things like this, you will not see. You go there, your name as it is, you mention things like Molue, Oju Elegba, you're going to see things like that, like really African Caribbean centric AI tool. But it's we're at the MVP stage now. You know, we're trying to put something together to just bridge that gap. There's a bunch of bias in AI systems these days, and that's one of those things that our tool is going to do. Now, it's banning, and just for your information, I was in Lagos all my life before I came down to this part of the world. So I would like to see an AI tool that would make me feel like I'm back in Lagos, even though I'm in North America. So to your question, ma'am, again, as I said, there is no going back. There's no going back, because the discussions about banning AI is I would say I don't want to use the word impossible. I was at the Ottawa sometime last month, February, with the Minister of AI and Digital Innovation, Evan Solomon. And the one thing that we keep discussing is how to deploy AI. We didn't talk about ban AI. No, that wasn't even a conversation. It's how to deploy AI in a safe, responsible, and ethical way. So which means we're putting security into perspective, very strong because of the data-driven system that it is. We're putting policies, what kind of policies that can be in place to ensure that AI systems are used responsibly, right? We're looking at things like control. How can we control, for example, as a parent, how can you control what AI tool your child should be exposed to? Those are the conversations we're having at this level. And I think globally, even sometimes I say, we here, we're kind of behind. If you go to China, you go to UAE, they're already ahead. So what do we do as parents to be able to ensure that our children are using these tools in an ethical way, in a responsible and in a safe way? We've talked about, Mrs. Falad mentioned a lot of, gave you a lot of insightful information about the data protection side of things. The data privacy is also very important, very big when it comes to, again, as I said, is a system that uses a lot of data. So when it comes to data, you want to ensure to be compliant. You're putting into perspective control, privacy protection, and job policies that can help to ensure that both as a user and as a developer of these tools, that everyone is on the same page. As a parent, concern usually is on safety. And that's why I mentioned in my response earlier, that you have to find a moment where you have like a dialogue with your kids. This one is not, you can't beat them. These kids are, if they want to outsmart us, they will outsmart us. You just got to find safety. The best safety precaution is what I'm sharing now. And you might want to say it and say, yes, I said it. You have to find a balance between what your kids can handle and what you can handle, and set up a dialogue. You guys have to discuss and say, hey, you know what? I know this system, you have access to it. I know I put some control to be able to ensure that you don't have access to everything on this AI tool. However, I would like to see you use it in a more educational form. I wouldn't want you to, that's where the dialogue comes in. And I think that's the first thing when it comes to safety. You want to ensure your children are safe, you are safe as well. And we can't take that away, whether we like it or not. The most important thing when we talk about AI is also, one of the most important things is having processes and policies in place. And as a systems person, when I talk about systems, you're talking about the processes that drive that system, the people that use the system. Now, between you and your children, you might want to have a process or an agreement in place and say, hey, we're going to ensure that you only use these two at XYZ time. That conversation needs to be had. You can't push it away from them. It's the generation, it's the future. We already saw this thing, robotics. Robotics, I mentioned it earlier. We've started seeing them. If you go to some restaurant now, you don't even need a waiter to come meet you. The robot just comes to you and take your order. You punch in what you need. It goes to the back office or to the kitchen, and it brings it back. Conversations like this is also very important. Sessions like this where parents are aware of what needs to be used. The system, AI tools have come to stay. There's no going back. I've been engaging with different stakeholders in the technology industry, and at no point have we had conversations about, oh, are we going to ban it? Are we going to put it on hold? It is not going to be put on hold. However, because of the privacy protection piece, which is a major part because of the large volume of data that AI systems use, we focus more on drawing up policies. And that's why we have compliance organizations like HIPAA, all these guys that are responsible for making sure that AI systems are used in a safe, responsible, and ethical approach. Thank you.
Thank you for that. So obviously, AI is here to stay, even if I don't like it, but AI is here to stay. Thank you very much, sir. Okay, back to you, Mr. Adekunle.
All right, thank you. AI is here to stay. We must live with that reality. Thank you, sir, for that contribution. My next question is to Coach Fola, and I would like to ask, how do I supervise AI use without hovering constantly over my kids? How do I supervise their use of AI without overbearing on them? I think parents and educators like us would like to know. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you for that question. But before I address that question, I just wanted to put something out there, which is my thoughts on the use of AI, especially for kids. So the thing with AI is it's still emerging. And right now, globally, there are not so many restrictions, governance, regulatory requirements. They are still evolving, right? As part of what I do, I also do AI governance with cybersecurity because you can't take one away from the other. So, and also when you read the news, you do your research, you keep saying all this information about how AI asks an inappropriate question to a little child. So I believe someone, asked a question about how kids should use AI earlier. What I just wanted to add is, while it's easier to, talk to older kids, for younger kids, I think it would not be a bad idea for them not to even have access to AI. And when I mean younger kids, I mean like 5 and below. Like they are still thinking, they don't know the difference between right and wrong, right? So for a lot of these things, I think for older kids, you can have conversations with them. But for younger kids, I mean, they don't even know if the difference between right and wrong. And they're so innocent and very gullible, right? Yeah, so I just wanted to put that out there. Okay, so now to the question you asked me.
Yes.
Well, we kids, kids are so special to us.
Yeah.
So here, nobody even has the time as a parent to be reading every message their kids send. These kids, they are a bundle of energy. They have so much energy. They have so much time. We do not have as much energy, neither do we have that time. And of course, again, if you keep hovering over kids like surveillance, it's almost like you're a human CCTV. You're going to destroy trust. And before you know it, they're going to start hiding from you, right? That will not work. And if you overly restrict kids, especially teenagers, oh my goodness, they will just find a better way. So they won't use it at home. Remember that these kids, when they go to school, especially in North America, they have access to iPads, to laptops. They can go to their friends' houses. We don't know the type of controls those parents have put on their devices. So really, the framework I'm going to advocate for is what I call open doors, not locked cages. That would not work, especially with kids that live in this part of the world, right? They have access. So if you lock everything in your house, no access, no this, no that, they will go to school. They will go to other places, right? So I'll talk about the practical steps. Set up AI together. First of all, sensitize them. Let them even know what is AI. For me, as an example, I'm a huge advocate of AI, right? I work for a US tech company, global. So we're big on AI because we use AI in practically everything we do. Even products, Microsoft Office, Adobe Acrobat, like every product right now is adding AI to it. So talking to them, letting them know what AI is about, the benefits, also talking to them about the disadvantages, especially deepfake. I'm sure you guys have all seen videos that have been trending, like maybe a 2-year-old child looking cute, dancing to like trending, that's one trend. Another trend is people are now also using AI to do like short stories. Like read, anyways, I spend my time on Instagram watching some of those things because they are interesting. So at times you see a video on Instagram and you're like, is this real? Is this AI? It's now so difficult to tell what is real and what is AI. So I think having that conversation is the very first step. Then the other step is maybe setting it up together, right? So the first time you want to sit with them, maybe when they're using AI, and then ask them questions like, so what would you want to ask AI, right? Let them know that it's open for dialogue, basically. Some of the things you've learned today, do not share this, do not share that, etc. For example, if you use a smart home where maybe your smart garage, you need to enter a code. I'm sure you would speak to your kids to say, do you want just anybody to come into our house? No. So please don't share the code into our garage. So same way you want to have this conversation with your kids. Then you can also do what you call a family AI agreement, right? So that agreement is within your family. Like my family, we have plenty of things in this, my family. We even have slogan, right? As a family, we have a color, different things. Kids love to feel involved, especially when you carry them along. So you can have these family AI agreements, which coordinating with your kids, you want to get their inputs. And you include rules like we're not going to be sharing our last names, we're not going to be sharing sensitive information, we're not going to be sharing where we live with AI. And even in our day-to-day conversations, we need to be careful, right, of the questions we ask. It's okay to ask it, but you don't have to say it is you. You can just put, just put something that cannot be tied back to you. And then, of course, you know that when kids help write rules, they are going to own those rules and take it more seriously than when you try to force it on them. Then, maybe another thing is you tell them, remember that AI is really a stranger. Because the truth is, all the information you store, they are kept in a server, right? All this information are also being used to train the AI. If you go into any of these tools, at the bottom, there's a disclaimer there. You must review, like AI can make mistakes, and those mistakes can be costly. So the first thing you tell your kids before you put anything in the AI, ask this question: would I say this information to a stranger? If you would not say it to a stranger you met at the bus stop, then why do you want to tell it to AI? Because at the end of the day, you don't have control over where that data is going to be stored, what it is going to be used for. And they always say internet never forgets. You don't want to put something into AI that a few years down the line can then be a disadvantage to you, because at the end of the day, you really don't have control. And these global controls around AI, they're still upcoming. For example, we have EU AI Acts, that's for Europe. But when you look at North America, it's still up and coming, right? So we need to be careful. Then also, shared spaces over secret spaces. So when you see that your kids are locking the door, when you enter the room, they shut their laptop, well, then as a parent, you want to dig further. What is going on here? All right. So devices used in bedrooms with closed doors. What's going on? The example I gave earlier about my son using my phone, if he didn't come to ask me about his picture, I would not have known that he was doing an attractiveness test. And with kids, these things would even affect them, because if you put your picture into ChatGPT and it says you are ugly or whatever, that can even affect the child psychologically. And there have been instances, if you go to the internet now, where you see that AI, said really terrible words of feedback to kids. So you also need to look at their psychological safety. Do things like show me something cool. In North America, they do that at school, where they say, oh, tell me what you did. So with AI, ask your kids, so this week, what did you use AI for? Come and tell me. And also share with them as well. Ask curious questions. Don't ask, interrogative questions, otherwise they will pull back. And above all, parental controls. There are a lot of tools out there that you can use to put parental controls. Parents are super busy, but putting in parental control so that even if you forget, the tool will prevent them from putting in some of this information. So that's, the way I would approach it.
Right. Thank you, Coach Mola, for those practical steps. I think we have all learned a lot as to how we can. And I think I like this opening statement you made, which is open door policy. I think I stick to that. And thank you so much for actually, giving us that opener. And going through our chats, I noticed that we have interactions in the chats. We have Ogbeni dropping chats. Thank you. We have Nekwen, Osho, Wilson also dropping chats. We'll find time after our panel of speakers have finished speaking, then we can go into those discussions that we have in our chats, and we'll take it up from there. Miss Precious, over to you to take on the next question.
Sorry, thank you very much. So before then, please, if you have any questions, our audience, you can drop your questions in the chat, and we'll make sure that we ask our speakers for today their opinion about your questions. So moving on, we're talking to Mr. Raji. Mr. Raji?
I'm with you.
How are you feeling? Very good. Well done. So I want to ask you, Mr. Raji, now, how can, let's say, for example, how can we help kids think critically, even in this AI era? We know that AI is here to stay. There's nothing we can do about that. But how can we now help children, the children under our care now? How can we help them think critically, even though there's AI?
Okay, thank you very much. That's a very good one. In the era of AI, we know one thing about learning: reasoning, thinking. So if we want our, the world's children, students to be critical thinkers in this era of AI, we need to shift from the norm of asking the straight question. Instead of asking a question like, what is this? Direct questions. We should ask questions that they will help us make sense of the situation. We should ask questions that will help, think of the conclusion. How do you reach this conclusion? How do you arrive at this? So the questions should be more of analyzing things, testing their ideas, because AI definitely, it can help used to get the straight direct questions, but we need to help them to think, to reason, to go beyond just the short method of getting the answers. So with that, it will let them know that they need to think more deeply. Now, fine, utilization of AI, like all the speakers have said, there's no one that said it is bad, or like it should be out totally, or it should be out at any time. But one thing we should know is that it's been there is a need to guide its use. So once the children, the tutees, they are able to identify that this is how I am supposed to make use of this, I'm supposed to be able to think, not just work with this thing and it do thinking for me. So, and as we as parents, as we as tutors, we also need to help them find they can try to rely, but help them to be able to go away from relying on it. When you give a question and it is difficult for the question to be typed on AI, Sometimes when I discover that the class is now going AI mode, I can just start, instead of sharing the question on the screen, I won't share the question on the screen. I'll ask the question. When I ask a question, it is difficult for you to start typing it. Though I know that there are other AI tools that can help with that now. They are installed there. They can listen to what is going on in the system and they can provide the answer immediately. But there are other ways you can actually make it to look like a puzzle. So when it looks like a puzzle, it will take time, to be able to, and when you are seeing the answers, you'll be able to know if this answer is actually what is being expected. And as a teacher too, sometimes you need to get acquainted with how AI gives answers. So it will give you the idea when the answers are coming. Is this the normal way? It's like when I ask for reports and the reports come in. When I'm reading the report, there are some features I see in the report, and I'll say that, at least when AI is giving this thing to you, why can't you just do some self-adjustment? And the person submitting the report will be like, once you see the head going down, it means you've been caught red-handed. So they need to understand it is supposed to be an assistive tool, not what will do the job for you. But if you see that they are trying to rely too much on it, you need to make their work in such a way that reliance will have to shift when you are giving them projects to do. And even if you want to, you can't say that AI do it for me. You can only ask AI to give you ideas on how you make use of it or how you achieve what you want to achieve. So with that, it will reduce the reliance on AI. It will even help them to move from relying on it to using it as a tool that will assist them in achieving their goal. So, and with this, it will be able to, help balance it, how to make use of it, what to do with it. And when you relate, as Fola rightly said, you need to relate with them about it, not just you. Fine, you can't even say you want to beat them because they are using AI. So, but you need to have the discussion with them. What are you doing with it? Okay, if you are doing this with it, this is the effect that you are likely to get. If you are using it this way, this is what you are, because if we look at AI, before now, we have Google, we have different search engines that we've been using. It is just like AI. The search engines is what is being fed in. The AI just learns now. Search engines don't learn. But the artificial intelligence, anything you feed into it, it learns from it. And when it's giving you an information next time, it can give you something that is related to what you have given before. So if sometimes you ask a question and you see that it is answering you in such a way that, did I tell it something about this one? Well, you fed it some information prior to now, and it is speaking from those information to enrich, what you are just asking now. So that is another way AI can also be an assistive tool. But using it, one needs to be careful. One needs to set the boundaries. One needs to know what to, put in, what not to put in. And for the students, we need to be their guide as parents, as tutors, so that they can use it in the best of ways, not in the worst of ways. And eventually we'll be able to have, yes, the ones we call the critical thinkers, and not just the high technology dependent students.
I'm sorry, I didn't know I was muted. Oh, thank you very much, Mr. Raji. That was very insightful and very detailed. Thank you very much. So moving over to Mr. Kunle. Mr. Kunle?
Yeah. Yes. I think my question will be directed to Coach Fola because we have a question in the chat. Mrs. Z is asking a question, and she said I should ask you specifically. Said you mentioned some parental control tools that can be used. So she was asking that can she get examples of these parental tools that you talked about?
Yes. So I posted something in the chat. I will talk about it in different ways. So
Okay.
on the common AI tools like ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, they now have parental controls. So some of these companies have been fined, and because of the fines, they've had to put in parental controls. So I put the link for the ChatGPT one as a
Okay.
response to her question so that she can know how to configure ChatGPT. You can set quiet hours. You can reduce or block sensitive content. It's really up to you what you want to do. So I've put that link in there. Meta, which is Instagram and Facebook, because they too now have AI features. They also have announced some supervision tools. And from what I hear, it's so good that if they pick up some maybe age inappropriate content, or graphic nudity, etc., they can even actually try to reach out to the parents if the account has been set up properly. And oh, by the way, I just put it on Claude. Like I just put the question on Claude. Then there are also other tools. So
Okay.
you have character.ai. If the Wi-Fi you use at home, if it has like an app, whether you use Rogers, Bell, or if you use like Linksys, they all have parental controls. So you can even decide that, oh, if you are not there, you want to restrict access to the internet for the particular device. Remember that you need to be connected to the internet before you gain access to AI. So there are also tools. If your kids, if they're using iPad, you can also put in communication limits, content restriction. The list is endless. Let me put it that way. So I can send the links to you because I don't know whether you use an iPad or you use a router or the type of Wi-Fi you use. So really be dependent. But I will definitely share some additional links with you.
All right. Thank you so much, Coach Fola. Thank you. I would like to direct my next question to Dr. Kohli. And I think you've started talking about something like that in the course of our previous discussion. And it's just for you to tell us in clear, specific terms, how do we prepare children for jobs that they may not exist yet? Because from what you're saying, you're actually talking about the ones that are upcoming. So how do we prepare kids for jobs that may not exist yet as a result of the rise of AI?
Well, that's a good question.
Yes, sir. Thank you. We can hear you. You are muted.
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Yeah. I said, thanks for that question. We've talked a lot about AI and how the downside, the challenges, and also the benefits and how it's going to help to create opportunities. And interestingly, this question is coming at a time when I was actually looking to share some information as to how we can help our kids as against, pushing back, but how can we help them take advantage, of this new, of this generation? How can they tap into the exploratory opportunities that are available? I mentioned you can be an AI auditor. You can be an AI space debris cleaner. Space, what's it called? Lunar builder. We have all those things, especially for those who may be interested in space and aircraft in the future. So when we look at some of these concerns that we have, we also have a huge benefit in terms of educating our kids, helping them to navigate that whole process of understanding what AI should be used for. Have you actually taken the time? For example, I have, two teenagers who sometimes I just assign some of my business tasks to, and I pay them a few dollars and say, hey, for your time, take $50, take $100 just for helping me provide this information. And I use that information. I use it to do my job. It saves me time. I don't have to go start looking for information when I already have kids who understand how to use the system. Again, like I said, in a safe responsible, and ethical way. That should be the takeaway. The concern is huge, no doubt, but the benefit is also, great in terms of where our kids are looking to be in future. A lot of them these days, when you give them paperwork, sometimes they trash it. Have you noticed that? They trash it. They will rather do stuff on their computer. Dr. Raji, you deal with these kids for the most part. They would go on their phone most times. They will go on their computer most times to want to do the same. And also, I have that. I have that as well. Sometimes paperwork for me is a no-no. So if it's not in a soft copy form, if it's not on the system, I don't even give it an attention. So how do we, just to your question, to wrap it, because I'm trying to get off this this session at 3:30, if you wouldn't mind.
Right.
Just as we give them that opportunity, to use AI tools, there are certain opportunities also that we have within that same opportunity we're giving to our kids to use the tool to begin to explore the benefits, the job opportunities, the career opportunities that may come as a result. I've mentioned AI robotics and human collaboration roles that will be open, BCI tech, AI auditors. I mentioned that many times. Comparison designer. Kids can use Canva these days and they can design new systems. They can design a product, right? Now we have all those things still embedded within that whole AI space where we're saying use, don't use. If you say don't use, how are they going to understand this new digital world and the virtual identities? That will be challenging. But because we're exposing them in a, again, safe, responsible, and ethical way, some of these opportunities are made known to them. Just to give a small example as well, we deployed a new AI medical tool, ScribeX, someday. And my team says, oh, this tool is ready. Test done, deployment done. And I say, you know what? We've all tested this thing at our level as professionals. I'm going to do something. Let me send it to my kids and let them audit this system. Do you know what we didn't see as bug? It was these kids that found out.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying? If tomorrow, when they graduate from school and they're interested in tech, I mean, some of them are not. They're just supporting dad because, I mean, dad loves tech. They graduate, when they graduate and they're interested in tech, that's an automatic opportunity for them. They identify about 11 bugs.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow. So guys, you see why we need to involve them in this whole transition. It's huge. We can't leave them behind. We just have to consider all of those things I've mentioned, the data privacy side, the protection side, consider, of course, using it in a more responsible way, in an ethical way, of course, in a safe way. But in allowing them explore this opportunity too, considering all of those risk factors, we're creating opportunities for them. It's huge. So I will wrap it up by saying that just as we have some challenges as parents, helping our kids to navigate the use of AI tools, we also have some huge benefit, huge advantage of, exposing them to it in a safe, responsible, and ethical way, as I mentioned. Jobs like in the health and wellness sector, we have what we call wellness coach, genomic wellness coach. We have what we call microbiome technician. We have what we call sleep optimizer. So these are some of the things that would spring up because there's more acceptance of AI systems. And the government is looking into these areas as well. So you will notice layoffs are going on in most organizations, especially the big ones these days. They will lay off. At some point, the curve will now, go high again because there will be need now to fill up positions because departments have been automated. Functions, positions have been enhanced. So we need more people who are going to fill up that space for even our AI system to be able to function. And who are those people? Our next generation children. So they need to get that exposure in order for them to be able to fit into the society. So I'll leave it here. Thanks so much.
All right, thank you so much. Because of our time, there are no questions in the chat. We'll leave our speakers to drop their closing thoughts in a minute each. So Dr. Michael, should I begin with you? All right, so that because of the meeting you want to catch up with.
Yes. Thanks so much.
thoughts.
I think we said it all. Thanks so much, Dr. Adekunle. I'm going to make it very short. So for parents, I mean, first I want to appreciate Banker for inviting me, giving me this opportunity to be able to share my insight, my experience in AI. For parents who are on the call, my final thought would be there is no reason to be worried. We are here already, whether we like it or not. And the future is for our kids. We expose them to it, it gets better. We deprive them from it, it becomes a little bit more challenging. But always note, whatever it is, within those 3 words that I mentioned, under which we capture all of the privacy protection, data privacy protection, and of course compliance. AI systems should be used and should be used in a safe, responsible, and ethical way. Thank you.
Right. Thank you so much, Doctor. We are grateful. Thank you for the time. I hope when we invite you next time, you will honor our invitation. Thank you so much for the sacrifice to be here, and thank you for the insight. Coach Fola, your final thoughts.
Okay, so the goal of everything we shared today is not to scare anyone from AI at all. That ship has sailed, they sailed a long time ago. But it's basically, for parents to learn how they can help their kids learn and grow. So make sure your family engages with AI on your own terms, with your own values, and with your eyes open. So, because if you look at it, right?
Yeah.
In our days, we grew up playing outside. I don't even think we really had Google like that. So these are kids right now. They are really the first generation growing up with AI as a daily companion. So we're all learning, even with the parents, even we at work, and even the kids, because this is really the first time, AI as a companion is a big thing. So the opportunity is huge, but so is the responsibility and the risk. So we need to teach our children digital safety, digital judgment. It's also as important about I would say it's as important to how you teach your child to cross the road safely without you, right? AI is also that important. So I'll leave parents with those final words, and also to commend everyone here. I mean, if you're here today, it means that you're really passionate about your kids. You want to learn how to manage and bring them up in today's AI world. So kudos to all parents here. And big thanks to Naijatutors also for hosting this. I think it's a really good one. I told my kids to join, but they didn't join. So hopefully, because I want them to watch and learn, right? Especially when they hear it from someone else, not somebody they are very familiar with.
All right. Thank you so much, Ma, for that closing thoughts. And thank you for honoring our invitation. We'll hope to call you back some other time. I hope you also find the pleasure of joining us again. Thank you. Mr. Raji, your final thoughts. 1 minute, please.
Okay, thank you very much. So as this discussion is coming to an end, I think of one key message that we should always remember. AI is not a problem. How we actually use it is what matters. So because we should always remind our students that when they are learning, it's not just about getting the correct answer. So learning actually happens in the thinking process. They need to be able to make mistakes. They need to be able to ask questions. They need to, understand gradually how solution works. AI, we know it has, made question answering very, very easy, but it should not take away that ability to think, grow intellectually, struggle a bit. It shouldn't take it away. So for parents, the goal should not be to stop their children from using AI. As I said earlier, technology has come to stay. We can't take it away from us, but we should guide them on how to use them wisely as a tool that will support their learning, and it should not stop them from thinking. So, and at the end of the day, education, we should know, it's not about just raising students who get quick answers. It should be about, raising young people who can think clearly, who can solve problems, who can also adapt to challenges. So if we help our students at words develop all these skills and also help them to use AI responsibly, it will not just prepare them for the school life, it will prepare them, like doctor said, for a world that is beyond just the school. So I really appreciate the opportunity to be here. I appreciate everyone that actually joined the call today, because without you, we will just be speaking. So I appreciate everyone, and I appreciate
Thank you so much.
Naijatutors.
Thank you, Mr. Raji. Thank you, Dr. Michael. Thank you, Coach Fola, for your insights and honoring our invitation to be part of this discussion tonight. So we've wrapped up our discussion. Now we're here, and I also want to thank all parents that are here, team of educators at Naijatutors, and also everyone who tuned in just to be part of this program. Also for everyone who dropped their chats, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge with everyone on the call. Now we'll be here from Ms. Precious Omobo, Head of the English Language Arts Department at Naijatutors Konnect, who will be speaking on behalf of the CEO, Ms. Banke Okibalogun. She will share insights on how our organization continues to support learners and families. Please join me in welcoming Ms. Precious Omobo. Precious Omobo, over to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kunle. Today has been so exciting. The insights we've gotten from all our speakers. I will say thank you very much. And also thank you for the opportunity to share a few thoughts today on behalf of our CEO, Mrs. Banke Okibalogun. So here at Naijatutors, our mission has always been simple but powerful. And what's our mission? To connect learners with the right academic support so they can grow in confidence, skill, and curiosity. Education today is rapidly changing. Technology, new learning tools, even artificial intelligence are transforming how students learn and how educators teach. While these changes bring exciting opportunities, they also raise important questions for parents and educators, especially about how to ensure children are truly learning and not just completing tasks. At Naijatutors Konnect, we believe that learning should always remain student-centered. Tools like AI can be helpful, but they should support learning, not replace a child's thinking, creativity, or effort. Our tutors are trained to guide students through the learning process so they develop critical thinking, such as solving, clear communication, and independent thinking. Another part of our work is supporting families. Education does not happen in isolation. Parents play a crucial role in reinforcing good learning habits and encouraging curiosity and helping children stay motivated. That is why we continuously work to create strong partnership with parents, keeping communication open and ensuring that every learner receives the support they need both at home and during tutoring sessions. Through our platform and tutoring programs, we focus on personalized training, or rather personalized learning that meets each student's needs, high quality tutors who are committed to academic excellence, structured curricula that aligns with international standards, and a learning environment where students feel confident asking questions and expressing their ideas. Our goal is not just to help students pass exams. We aim to build confident learners who understand what they are learning and can apply it in real life. As education continues to evolve, our commitment remains the same: to provide reliable academic support, empower learners and partners with families to help every child reach their full potential. On behalf of Mrs. Banke Okibalogun and the entire team of Naijatutors, thank you for your trust and continued support. Together, we continue to nurture strong, capable, and confident learners. Thank you, and that is from our CEO.
Thank you, Ms. B. You did represent our CEO quite well. Thank you so much. Thank you. And I know she must be proud of what you've done tonight. Thank you, Ms. Precious. And also, there will be a closing poll for this great event. We're rounding up in a minute or a couple of minutes. After today's webinar, how likely are you to implement the tips that have been shared? You can please respond to the chat. Okay, you can respond to this feedback, and we would like to know what practical steps you will be taking to ensure that you maximize what you've learned from this event. So thank you so much. Ms. P, over to you to close us for tonight. Thank you.
All right. So I'm very, very, very happy. Thank you all for joining. I hope this session has given you a helpful insight on how AI can support children's learning when used responsibly. At Naijatutors Konnect, we provide learning support, tutoring, and academic guidance to help learners succeed. Please feel free to connect with us for learning support for your child. Also, share this webinar with other parents who may benefit. We look forward to seeing you in our next webinar. Thank you and have a wonderful evening.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Special thanks to the CEO of Naijatutors Connect. Thank you so much. Thank you. We are grateful for setting up this platform. We also thank every parent, everyone that has joined to our incredible team of speakers. Thank you for honoring our invitation. Dr. Michael Okoli, Coach Fola, Adegoke, Mr. Raji, Brian, thank you so much for finding time to join us for this event. And to the planning committee for this AI webinar, specifically chaired by Ms. Esther. Thank you so much for all you do in the background. And thank you for helping us have a comfortable stay being in the spotlight. Thank you, everyone. We are grateful. Ms. P, over to you. I sign off and I'll allow you to conclude.
Yes, so bye everyone. I'm very happy from the comments. You could see that people are very happy. You find it insightful. And so without any more, I say good night, everybody. Adios. Adios. Bye-bye. All right.